Chapter 10. Daisy, Wiglaf said softly as he cracked open the door to the king's chamber. Everyone was still down in the feasting hall, except for Angus. Even without the pie, he had eaten way too much. Now he was in one of the 435 bedrooms, lying down with a Belyak. Daisy, Wiglaf called again. I've brought you your supper. Daisy did not answer. Wiglaf went in and put the supper tray on the bedside table. The bed covers were rumpled, but the bed was empty. Daisy, cried Wiglaf, looking around. Where are you? Wiglaf searched the room. He raced up and down the torchlit hallways, calling his pig. He opened door after door and called her name into the dark, but he found no sign of his pig. He lost his way for a while in the huge palace, but at last he found the blue feasting hall. The king and queen had retired for the night. Daisy is missing, cried Wiglaf. We must find her. This is the royal palace, said Erica. What harm could come to her here? Her words made Wiglaf feel better. Yet he had to see his pig. He had to make sure she was all right. Let's all look for Daisy, Janice said. Daisy, called Wiglaf as he peered into the throne room and ballroom. Daisy girl, he called as they looked in the treasure and the tapestry room. They asked every guard, servant, and lady in waiting they met along the way, but no one had seen Daisy. At last they went to the royal kitchen. The palace cooks were busy making soup and baking pies and breads for tomorrow's feast. Has anyone seen a pig? Erica asked. Not I, princess, said the soup cook. Nor I, said the baker. Pig? Said Chef Pierre. Oh, I fixed a très bon supper for pig. You did? Cried Wiglaf. Relief flooded over him. Then Daisy's all right. Oui, said Pierre. First, I send up supper. Then, I have servant to take pig to spa. She is having a nice soak in hot tub right now. Wiglaf smiled. Daisy in a hot tub. She must like that. The chef nodded, and every hour I sent her treats, pies, and cakes and tarts. I take good care of pig. Hearing that, Wiglaf was content and very tired. Not long after that, Erica walked him to his room, a whole room all to himself. He climbed into a great big bed, big enough to hold him and his 12 beefy brothers without anybody falling out. He had a goose-down pillow and a goose-down coverlet. To think back in Pinwick, his bed had been a pile of straw. Still, Wiglaf found it hard to sleep, for the queen paced up and down the hallway late in the night, sobbing loudly. King Ken yelled over the sobbing, tried to soothe her. On they Ori way, Epsi baby, the king cried. Iai one, imei each spray, eaten lay. He cleared his throat. Adis lay, enyai enterment gay, and such pay, enyai ilagers away. We are doomed, Kenny, wailed the queen. Doomed. Wiglaf tried to think happy thoughts to help himself fall asleep. He imagined Daisy relaxing in the hot tub. He imagined giving Morwena and Fergus the coin of basilisk gold. Fergus would bite it to make sure it was real gold, and Morwena would cry for joy. What was it that made this gold so special? Did each basilisk have 24 pieces of gold? If that was it, Basil now had only 23 coins. At last, Wiglaf drifted off to sleep. When he opened his eyes, the sun was shining brightly through the palace window. His tunic and leggings had been washed, pressed, and laid out for him. He was living like a prince. He threw on his clothes and hurried downstairs. The royal family, Janice and Angus, were already sitting at the dining table. You slept through breakfast, Wiglaf, Angus said, seeming fully recovered, and we've just finished lunch. Why don't you give the speech? Erica was asking us, sniveling, red-eyed mother. It has always been the king, said the queen. It must be the king, or the kingdom is toast. Iai onei, cried the king. Iai ilwei igledei, igpei atinlei, ithai official yai, angijlei of yai, ithai ingdom kei. What's that? Asked Queen Barb. The king said, I will declare Piglatin the official language of the kingdom, Wiglaf told them. Our subjects can hardly speak English, cried the queen. They could never learn pig. She began to weep again. Now Chef Pierre entered the feasting hall. He bowed and said, Bon, here is the G menu for G feast, your majesties. It does not matter yet. We have no peasant. I am preparing something else, even better. It will be magnific. He handed Queen Barb a sheet of parchment. Queen Barb dabbed at her nose with a hanky as she read. Fine, she said without enthusiasm. If our subjects don't rebel, if there is a feast, she handed the menu to the king. The king looked at it. Elrivei isnai, he said, and he handed it to Erica. Let me see it, said Angus eagerly. Wiglaf looked on with Angus. King Kenneth's feast day, water lily soup, 24 blackbirds baked in a pie, braised lucky rabbit's feet, grilled pigeon lips, herb marinated cochon with apple, Chef Pierre's surprise pie. Water lily soup? Wiglaf had never heard of anything so exotic. But he did not like the idea of eating blackbirds, or rabbit's feet, or pigeon parts. What is cochon? He asked Angus. Angus shrugged. I don't know, but it sounds delicious. Fauncely stepped over to the boys and bowed. I could not help but overhear your question, he said. A cochon is a pig. Wiglaf nodded. Then he stopped. A cochon is a pig? An herb marinated pig? Uh-oh.